Right. Hi, founders and growth hackers. My name is Willie Zhang, and I'm the founder of Solar Feeds, and it's a two-sided marketplace. So I'm kind of obsessed with all the tactics and growth hacks of other marketplace. And today I'm trying out a new video formats. Instead of recording a 30 minutes long video, I decided to break down into small videos. And in this video, we are comparing TripAdvisor and Yelp's in terms of their structural SEO strategy, and that's kind of the foundation of their SEO. And I have multiple videos about comparing TripAdvisor's and Yelp's SEO. But here, structural SEO is the infrastructure of their SEO strategy. Let's get started with Google, of course. And here we are using let's use two examples actually. So first one, well, I'm a Chinese guy who loves Mexican food, so I actually search Mexican food quite a lot. So let's just say that I'm traveling, or I'm new to New York, or I'm not new. I'm just hunting for a new Mexican restaurant, right? So where do I go, right? So I either go on TripAdvisor or Yelp directly, and they become a search engine basically, or I can use this general search engine, which is what I would do because I don't download any apps. Typically, I don't like downloading any sort of application to my phone. I'm trying to be as lean as possible on my phone. Anyway, so I Google that. What comes up, right? You got a Google Map, of course, but then if you scroll down, then you find eaters.com and then TripAdvisor, and then of course Yelp, right? Yelp is here, and I'm located in Canada, right? So this is a good sign that the SEO team is not. It's kind of slacking off. Let's just call it that. It says M here. What does that mean? So this is for mobile version of Yelp, basically. And what Yelp seem failed to do is that to include canonical tag. Okay, so canonical tag is a tag basically telling search engine that this page is duplication of the other page, right? So without that, then Google most of the time will treat them as two different pages, right? So now it is M, but then when I click, it actually and here is another one. This is and they've been targeting different keywords. This is targeting best, and this is targeting best authentic. Oh, yep. Okay. All right. So, and I click, right? So, and then let's compare side by side. And I click on TripAdvisor, and this is the result page. And let's take a look at Yelp result page as well. Authentic Mexican food. Now, what we see here is that the URL of Yelp is still dynamic, right? You see this is here. This is called dynamic URL, right? So it's most of the time it's bad for SEO. I don't know if it's anything to do because the beef between Yelp and Google. This isn't room for improvement, but it seems unless their team find out a way to submit it to Google each time. So, you know, it ideally it should be static, right? Yeah. So, but both of them apparently, rank at first page, right? So, good for them. And they are really competing head to head, by the way. Is it head to head or head and head? Okay, I don't know. Maybe you can teach me. Comment below. Okay. Yeah, and let's try out another term. Things to do in Port Dover. And Port Dover, by the way, is a small town in Ontario. And because I've been there before, and I'm trying to I'm trying to kind of relive my experience, because previously this is exactly what I have done. I went on Google to search, things to do in Port Dover, right? And apparently this is not a keyword that Yelp is targeting, right? So when I Googled that, TripAdvisor ranked number 1, okay? And by the way, if you notice, it's actually TripAdvisor.ca, right? So we will talk about that in another video. And some company need to do that. Using a localized TLD or domain extension, So the .com, .co, .in, .co.uk, those are the domain extension. And for some case, it's better to localize your domain, and in some case, you don't need to do that. We'll have a separate video just to talk about that. Maybe I'll link up here when I'm ready. When I upload the video, it will be here. So click here. And we're still using TripAdvisor and Yelp as an example. Okay, so let's click, and takes me to this page. And this is what I call a category page, because this is the attraction category in this location, right? And how many categories are there for this particular location? They are, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15. What? Photos? That's a keyword? Well, I suppose, yeah. Before you go, you want to see more pictures. Oh, yeah, that's good keywords. Now I think about it. Well, obviously they know what they're doing, right? So they have multiple, SEO person most of the time for a company like that to kind of go through every single details, right? So as you can see, but there are 8 categories for this single location alone, right? So this is what I mean by at the category level. We're talking about SEO here, and yeah. So before I get into those goodies, how about we just take TripAdvisor to demonstrate how they are using structural SEO, and I think this offers a perfect example. Okay, so first of all, it's there are multiple level of pages that they are doing, right? So the first page is the location level, meaning that they are not searching for a restaurant, because that's kind of down the second level at a category level, and also not things to do, not shopping, not photos, they are just like tourism, right? That's what I search, right? So this is at location level, and we know how many locations are there in North American. Let's just say this in this case is Canada, right? like tens of thousands of towns, right? So what does that mean? That means they have tens of thousands of pages like this. That's called structural SEO. And because the way it's structured, they can their website can rank for all those keywords. Doesn't matter what town it is. You can, I don't know, a small town like Barrie, right? Small cities in Ontario too. The tourism in Barrie. If you Google that, then TripAdvisor, on top of the page, right? So that's location level, and it applies to pretty much every single towns or cities, you name it, and sometimes even province. In America, that's states, right? So this is the page that targeting the tourism keywords, right? It's a fairly long page, and it basically has everything that you want to do. Go to the next level, the hotel level. That's the category page that we're talking about, right? So targeting people who are Googling hotels in Port Dover, right? So, and of course it applies to all those categories as well. And yeah, it has everything basically, like essential for Dover. Yeah, more pics. There we go. Then let's get into category level, right? And I've demonstrated in the very beginning of the video, when you Google things like restaurants in Port Dover, things to do in Port Dover, then you get that page, right? So how about we take that page? And from here, I'm going to break down on a tactic level, right? So how those layout, this is at a strategy level. It's a strategic planning, right? And then once you have those type of page, you want to do it in a tactical level, meaning that on those page, what are the small things that make this page actually rank on top of Google, right? And here's the thing. As I always said, the main thing first is the right keyword at the right places, right? And I say places, it's meaning that they are on, multiple places, right? So first thing, it's in the URL. And I haven't checked what like the language do they use to build. I mean, what development platform? I don't know. Angular, React. I don't know. Most likely, because for people build a this type of platforms, typically it's React, Angular, and it's JavaScript based, right? So it creates a problem with the dynamic URL that Yelp has, right? And I know there are tools to convert those dynamic URL into a static ones, and Alibaba actually has done the exact same thing, right? So here's a good example here, right? So you see the main keywords in the URL, right? Attraction. So things to do is like attraction, right? So it target both keywords, right? So and then keywords in the breadcrumb, and then keywords in the heading, right? And of course, there are keywords in those descriptions as well, right? So keyword at right places, and also if you keep scrolling down, you see that's an FAQ section, and that's keywords too, right? So that's keywords in the headings too, and keywords on the paragraphs, so those body too. So again, number one, right keyword at the right place, right? And number two, try your best to have a static URL. You might have to convert it with some other tool, or if you're built with some program that allows you to always have static one, Good, perfect. So that's number 2. Number 3, it's a very informative page, right? And I mentioned that over and over again. Google like informative pages, right? Because it typically, and when I say informative, that sometimes means there are a lot of text content, right? And I know, text content doesn't guarantee good content, doesn't guarantee it's always informative, but there's correlation between that, right? So typically, you want to have enough text content, and I'm talking about at least like 1,000 to 2,000 words up one page like this, right? So, and if you really add it up, it will have those word count, right? 1,000, more than 1,000 words, like description, the names, and the sidebars, and a lots of best ranking pages actually have like significant sections down here. They sometimes they even feature some reviews in here from under. Take those reviews from restaurants to put in here. So, third thing, informative pages, and a lot of time that means put in enough text content. All right. So, and the fourth thing is that make it user friendly. All right. So user friendly will indirectly impact search engine, because it impacts bounce rate or dwell time, right? So that's a very important factors of ranking as well, right? And then so they have like a map view, right? So it's very interactive designs. This is a very good way to decrease bounce rate. And also, if I land on this page first time here, it will have a huge sign in with Google pop up. So that's a conversion rate optimization, of course, but then also it's a good way to to reduce bounce time. So that's another good thing, another good practice they have done to get good ranking. All right, so that's on a technical level how this particular page, at the here category level, that they are ranking so well. All right. So now at the third page, and that's the business profile page, right? And they are ranking for individual business, individual restaurant, individual attraction, attraction spot in each city, right? So there are like millions of them, right? That means they have like millions, hundreds of millions of business profiles, and each one of them can bring traffic to TripAdvisor. So think about that. It's crazy how structural SEO it's so scalable, for those tech unicorns, right? So let's get if I Google this per review. Port Dover Harbor Museum review, right? And let's try it out. If you don't believe me, doodle, right? So we'll take a look later. It's loading. Right, and this is the individual page. Oh wait, where is it? Right here. No, it's here. Okay, so yeah, and then you see the main keywords in here, right? So this is the at the profile or business profile level, right? And what get this page here up. At the technical level, it's pretty much the same with the category level. You got the make keyword right places, static URL and informative page, and good design or more interactive design, right? And of course, mobile friendly. If you are mobile, they are they invest lots of time mobile. So mobile it goes without saying, right? So they have mobile version too, of course. Right, so yeah, and you get tons of reviews, and so that it's a good way to increase the informative perspective, right? And here, let me add in one more thing before I sign off. The structural SEO is like an engine of this it's an infrastructure, it's the engine of everything, right? But here's the thing. It needs fuel. Every engine needs fuel. And what's the fuel? Content, right? More specifically, user-generated content, UGC. And that is the holy grail of structural SEO. Now, structural content, structural SEO it's just one part of the equation, right? And if you don't have the user-generated content to fill it up, the structure, you either need to buy data, buy those listings, or you have to do that in-house. So there's really three ways to do it, right? But UGC is the best way and is the only way that this can scale. Okay, so I want to put it out there. This is very important when you are implementing structural SEO. Okay, so Facebook TripAdvisor here, rank number 3, right? And here they also implemented feature snippets. This is let's go schema, right? This is rich data for Google. Okay, we get into that next time. So yeah, and the 3 levels, we have touched that, and we also mentioned what's the holy grail of structural SEO? UGC. Okay, so until next time, keep hacking.